Hey everyone, it's Rachel, and I'm here again with another episode for Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. I am going to be working with a little mishmash of things. I've mentioned in several videos that I like the papers by Felicity Jane, but I don't need to buy her kits because they all come with stamps, and I don't use a ton of stamps, so I don't feel I should really spend the money on them. So I am going to be using the papers from her summer line, which I don't know if this is this month's, I think it's last month's, I'm not exactly, it could even be a couple months at this point, I have no idea. And then I pulled out a bunch of the Maggie Holmes Bloom embellishments, the chipboard, the stickers, the puffy stickers, the washi booklet, and die cuts. And then I also just pulled in a couple of wood veneer hearts, the flare. This actually did come with the Felicity Jane summer kit, and then this little camera charm and some of the enamel dots from Simple Stories Posh. So kind of, like I said, kind of a mix of things, but I'm going to be scrap lifting, as you saw before this started, of course. Oh, sugar, I've forgotten her name. Okay, I will say it in the voiceover part. I apologize for that. It's one of those things that's just escaping me at the moment. But it is from a Paper Issues Scrap Lift Saturday challenge. That's where I saw the layout, and it was just a very nice, simple layout, and I'm working on simple right now. That's my mantra at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, put you on fast forward, and don't forget it's going to get a lot louder. So let's go.
Okay, so MaryAnn Jenkins was the name I was looking for. Sorry about that. And what I'm doing is just going through this Felicity Jane papers, and I buy a lot of just the paper packs. I don't buy the kits, just the paper packs. And I noticed in this one there isn't a huge amount of multiple colors on one page. There's the floral one, but I didn't really want to use the floral. And then there's that ombre rainbow one, but that wasn't what I was looking for either. So this is a photo of our ferret Simba. Simba passed away, and I wanted to do a kind of memorial page for him. I did the same thing for his sister Nala when she passed away. And so I was looking for a mix of black and white and then multicolor because I wanted to use that aqua and white stripe, and I just needed the rest of the papers to not be so bold. And I find if you've got a single color pattern, it tends to be bolder, like because the stripes are so big, it's a bolder piece of paper. Whereas even though in that multicolored chevron piece, because the majority of the papers aren't prominent, it doesn't read as quite as bold a piece. So anyways, all of that was to say I went back into my Maggie Holmes bag of goodies that I have, because once I use a line enough that I don't have a ton of it left, like I don't have any full sheet papers, or maybe I don't have any embellishments really besides like a couple of things left, what I do is I then group it with the rest of that manufacturer. So I put all, even though American Crafts does a lot of it, I put like all my Maggie Holmes together, and I'll group all my Amy Tangerines, and because even though not everything goes with everything else, usually a good amount of it will go together. Okay, so let's actually talk about this layout. So I've got that multicolor chevron-y piece, and I'm going to tuck that behind this big bold. Now you'll see here I'm peeling this up. I forgot I flipped the sketch side to side, so rather than my embellishments and title on the left-hand side of the photo, I'm going to have them on the right-hand side, and that's simply because he's facing more towards the right-hand side in this photo. Now because this chevron piece that I'm going to tuck behind isn't going to come over the top vertically, I'm just chopping two of those pieces off because I like that paper and I don't want to waste it. Because heaven knows I don't have enough paper. Oi! Alright, let's go back to when I was chatting about paper. and talk about more paper. I matted my photo in the other bloom paper that had like what looked like washi tape plus signs, plus the B side of that, which was kind of a hot pink tone on tone. And yes, I know he's a boy, but or he was a boy. But oh well, it's a ferret. Really, I'm gonna gender stereotype a ferret. I'm okay. He was over 10 years old. Average life for a ferret is usually around 7 years. So he and his sister were both very long-lived, and he had a very good life. So I'm just using my T-square ruler to match those pieces up. I decided to have them go up rather than down. It just was more aesthetically pleasing to my eye, and I chose that other chevron wood grain piece as my background. It caught my eye right away that I wanted to use that. And once again, because I was going with the really bold stripe, I didn't want the rest of my papers to compete with that. So I'm going to use these gold scripty puffy letters, and these are from Studio Calico, along with this black scripty word from Pebbles. This came from their Girl Squad. I did not buy any of the paper. I did not buy any of the embellishments. I just bought those scripty words, and I love them so. Now, of course, I tried to use my T-square ruler, and I'm like, you dummy, you put down the puffy foam word. That is not going to work. So next I pull out my centering ruler, as you can see, and honestly this doesn't really work very well either. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was about to go out, and I was trying to get as much of this done as I could before I was going out. So I'm just kind of lining them up. Really what I wanted to see was if I could fit them in between the so before that T comes into play, but I really can't, so I end up spreading the word out, which actually makes the word look much better, and then I can fit it, even though everything kind of pops out of the way, and blah, 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 so on and so forth, and so I end up having to fix every single letter. Yeah, I don't know, I always try to, I'm going to put down something dimensional, and then I'm going to try to line something up with it. Oy vey. Okay, anyways, so I'm going to, once I finish fiddling with that, I am going to finish my title, which is going to be Farewell, Sweet Dude, because he really was a dude. We always said if he was human, he'd be the surfer in California, just kind of sitting in the sand, watching the waves, totally rad. He was a very laid-back ferret. And we miss him, you know. It's funny that you think about this, you know, technically he's vermin, you know, and you don't think, you know, well, how could I love vermin? But you do. They just like worm their way into your heart, and you just, you end up missing them once they're gone. And you just try to give them the best life you can. So I thought it was kind of, you know, because the letters are kind of formal, so by using the word dude, I, you know, kind of made it a little, you know, punch fun. Oh, and I was just excited because I managed to fit all of those alphas into one of the packages rather than have them being three separate packages. Now, as I mentioned in my intro, I did pull out quite a bit of the Bloom collection for this. So what really inspired me to use this was that mason jar with the flower in it. That, for some reason, it struck me that it would work perfectly, and it was really my starting off point for using this, for lifting this layout. So I'm just going through, it's supposed to be the die cut pack. What it actually is mostly a cut apart sheet that came along with the Bloom line. I don't have a lot of the die cuts left. I actually have used the majority of them. So a lot of those are just leftover cut apart pieces, and then a couple of the die cuts. Like this one, this little gold one, that was originally a tag. I had chopped the top off to use as a layering piece, and so I just trimmed it up, and it does end up right around there, maybe just a little bit higher. So now I'm grabbing some puffy stickers. They're kind of like almost an epoxy, but they're softer than that, but they're very shiny. And then I'm also going to grab some regular stickers as well. So I've got that tag puffy sticker that says love you forever, and then those two black ones I added up in the left-hand corner say loved and friend. And now I'm adding 3 regular stickers, and those say I'm thankful for you, the sweetest thing ever, and a piece within. I was happy with that a piece within one because it brings that gold down to the lower right-hand corner that is already there in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm just rearranging all of those. And now I'm going to my tray with my little bit of pieces of wood veneer and flare and just tchotchke stuff. And I add a couple of wood veneer hearts and then that flare heart, and that is from the Felicity Jane line. And I'm so sorry. While I'm doing this voiceover, Xanthi has climbed up my desk and now she is laying behind my laptop. Just in case you wanted to know that. Alright, I'm going to add some enamel dots, and then I'm thinking I'm going to be done. I'm like, yay, this one was really easy. It was nice following a lift of doing something awesome, and, you know, I'm glad I got this page done, and I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say I love him, and then I'm going to be like, oh, wait a second. You didn't do your journaling, you really big dum-dum. Alright. So I'm just going to be writing about who he is and that we miss him and stuff like that. So while I am writing my journaling, I just want to take the time to say, make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on this lift of MaryAnn Jenkins. And it's so amazing how we can take the same layout and just have 2 completely different takes on it. I'm much more follow the line, whereas Christy is much more, I see this one little thing and I'm totally going to take that as my inspiration point and it will look completely different. Alright guys, that is it for me. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye!